Hello everybody, welcome back again to the single player world. Today we are standing in the Nether tunnels, which is a brand new project. It's something that I showed off in the last video. If you guys haven't seen that, big news, big cool things happening. It's also a world tour, so you're going to enjoy it. If you guys haven't seen that, of course, just click one video back and check that out. But today we're getting started with our next project, which is kind of a little bit of a mashup of projects in the next few episodes. We're going to go all around the world, really, just fixing up things that we haven't yet touched or maybe did a little bit, and we have to put in a little bit more love. So starting off here, I'll give you a quick little rundown of what we are doing here. We're in the Nether tunnels. This is a tunnel, for those of you guys who don't know where we are. Actually, I'll just quickly go and get us some reference point, and then we'll get started with what we're doing today. But we'll get a reference point. This over here is the portal to our very first village. This is the village where literally we began. We went and built our first house, and then we built this little tunnel underground over here, which is exactly below the well. And I'm going to guess it's nighttime. Yes, it is. All right, so this is where we are. Kind of get in here, get out quick before any mobs spawn. Oh, there we go. Yep. We'll run away. And most importantly, creepers and... yeah, just creepers. That's all we actually have to get rid of. So starting off today, we've pretty much now going to be able to show you guys where we're going to be going. And I'll show you where we started and where we're going to be going. And the idea is that this tunnel here will go and split off in all directions. So instead of having this big nether expanse to go and look through and find your way through and get lost, we'll have some tunnels so you can't get too lost through it. And they look pretty good. This, of course, is the Snow Village. And there's one quick thing I want to show you guys here before we go any further. The Snow Village, I've tried to mirror sort of what's going on in the village itself, but in the Nether almost, and still give it a vibe of the village happening there, and also a bit of a vibe of the Nether having its own weird quirks. So one quirk is the sky. It's got clouds, it's got a bit of blue concrete. Now, I'll be completely honest with you, I don't like that blue concrete. I think it looks a little bit cheesy, but it's alright, and I don't like the clouds either. They look a little bit cheesy, but that's as good as we can do currently, and I guess if we turned on connected textures with Optifine, that would definitely look a lot better, but for now, we'll stick with that. Not going to worry too much about it. The other things are over here. We've got all this over here, the tunnel going through this woodland forest, and I've used spruce, of course, and birch, because they're the two blocks which don't go super ugly in the Nether. We've got a fern. Actually, let's just place a fern down. Oh, wait, here's the grass. That's the color that the grass and leaves go if we place oak leaves or anything like that. So that's why we don't want to place too much of it. Here and there isn't too bad, but a lot of it's going to make this place look very, very yellow. And here is where we stop. So this is where it finishes, and everything is super boring. And this is on our way to the main city. Now, if you guys don't know the main city, you're probably new to the channel. So two things, welcome. And second thing, of course, you're going to have to go check out a whole bunch of stuff with the main city. That will be very, very obvious where that place is when we go through it. We might even go through there today, but I want to focus on the Nether. So what I'm doing here, there's a bit of logic behind what's going on. So let's get into that. I've made the walls, I've made the tunnel, I've decorated the walls, and we have to decorate the roof as well. And the walls are easy enough with these leaves, very easy to hide, but the roof is kind of difficult. Making this very dense forest is very, very simple way of fixing that problem of making the roof look interesting. But of course, the roof being a sky, which I just showed you, it's not really working too good. So we have to work out a good way of doing this sky, and I've got some plans for that. So I would like to hopefully get started with some of those ideas, of course, and see if we can improve on the idea of it. So the way that this tunnel is going to be working, and the reason why we've got this archway of stone here, I wanted to create a place where we can transition over from the basic woodland forest, which is just our default thing we're going to be moving through when we move through these tunnels. I think it's a good place to start, and then we can always add more stuff to it and start changing it, trying to create a biome like what we do in the game normally, where we start building from a biome and start adding stuff in like that. That's really what I'm looking to do here, and that is of course with the concrete powder and all that. Let's just get rid of that, and yeah, that'll be good. So that's the idea of it. Actually, that won't be too bad to just put maybe a stone over there and in a few more places. That of course. All right, I can fix this. I just have to place this down here. No, that, like that, and it should still spread. So we'll just do that, and I guess I'll just correct what I've just done there. That'll spread back. So that's what I wanted to do. I want to go from this very biome-looking, untouched place with a few little lamps. I want to come over here, start transitioning into a bit more of a cobbly path, go into a proper city-like path, and that's actually where this over here is. Right over here is a place where I've seen a blaze spawn, even though there was quite high light level. So I haven't seen them spawn anywhere else. And the problem with this is blazes in this tunnel. It's not a very good time. If fire gets going in this tunnel, blazes or ghasts, we can pretty much kiss this tunnel goodbye. That is a very big problem, and that is what we're going to be solving hopefully along the way here by building a lot more stuff like buildings and things made out of stone and bone block and all those sorts of things which we do love. And I think that'll improve this place so much. And not only that, make it fireproof, which is the most important thing. And speaking of that, I probably shouldn't be too quick with those. I think that's a silly thing what I was doing there, getting rid of them too early. We were going to expose ourselves to potentially more blazes, so we'll do that there. As long as we can decrease the amount, I think we can save ourselves. Another cool thing, which is something I very rarely do, and I know some people are going to tell me finally, is I'm carrying a bow and arrow, which I never do. I tend to, as was pointed out, quite cool. I never noticed it, but as it was pointed out to me, and I think the last video's comments, was that this guy builds so much he doesn't even carry a bow, a sword on him, and I'm like, that's pretty true. I love my building so much. I'll rather have the one extra slot open, just so that I don't have to carry a sword and I can carry one more slot of materials. And that's actually, that's my logic. I think it's way better if I just carry an extra set of blocks, or at least have an open hand to flick blocks through like this, where I can just do that and do that very easily and fall off my platform at least. That makes my life so much easier. So I'll prefer to do that than having the extra set. Now, here is where my hopefully somewhat intelligent idea comes into play. I've just gone ahead, covered this like what we've done before. We're going to go from forest and then into the city, but going into this forest area is going to be where we're going to be able to play with the idea that I've got. Now, the idea is we started off with a bit of plain blue concrete powder. That is not good. Blaze, go away, and we have to get rid of this very quickly before anything like this appears. No flames up there. And that can still be a problem, but not too bad. And I'm not going to switch fire spread off. I think it's important that we play with the game like that a little bit because, I mean, hey, we're playing real deal Minecraft here. We don't want to, we know there are risks, but we don't want to just hide ourselves from the risks. Else we may as well just be playing creative. And I love creative, but yeah, else there's no real point in us making it a challenge for ourselves. We have to fight with the forces. That's the thing. You, go away. Wait, what? This is it. So here we go. This is where I want to be. Now, my solution to the problem of using plain light blue is to hopefully use the concrete powder. And you can see this is just where we were just before. That's the archway. And I want to put this concrete powder on top of these here. And I want to test it out. If it doesn't work, we can always just go back to our woodland forest thing until we get to the top. But if this could work, that would mean that we would probably be able to use some string, for instance, in the city when we get to the part that's going to be the town square or city-like stuff in this tunnel. We could probably put some of the concrete powder with some string, and that could probably work quite well. And I think that would hopefully look a bit more interesting. So a little bit here, a little bit here, a little bit here. And this is pretty much the way I just like to do things. Test the proof of concept before we go too far. Do a little sample like this. If it doesn't work, great. We'll do something else. If it works, fantastic. And we haven't wasted too much time trying to get rid of something. That's the thing. So let's do that there, that there, that there. And how much further are we? There we go. No, like that. We'll just do one of these in here. Okay. That, I think, should be enough for a small test. There. Okay, Jansey, resist. Just go back. Just leave this place. So let's check this out. Man, my nether really did look very ugly. Now it's not looking too sharp from the outside, but I'll say now it looks a lot better just these incomplete tunnels versus what it was before. So let's check this out. And I guess also another cool thing is this is different to your general nether. It's quite dark. You can't see a lot, but you can see the blue coming through. Okay, this is kind of interesting. Maybe what we'll have to do, and I have brought some glowstone. We could have just used torches, but I think maybe what might be a slightly better idea is to perhaps do the string idea and hold these up one by putting a light source in there. That could be interesting, or at least just working a light source in here somewhere to go through those blocks, because it's so super dark. It just might not work. So how about here? Okay, how about here? Okay, we'll try this out. If we do this, we'll see that from the bottom without a doubt. And I don't want to see that, but what I want to do is I want to go from the bottom, look at it, and hopefully be able to put enough of these spruce things around it, spruce leaves, to be able to hide the light source and just give us the light coming through there. Ignore that bit there. So let's check. Does this help? I'm fairly certain it will. And it's also going to light up the area. It helps a little bit. I'll give it that. It helps over here a little bit, but it doesn't push the light over too much, which is a pity. And my logic was if I could do something like this, you see, if we put enough blocks, it'll eventually hide it. Oh, there we go. Eventually it'll hide it. You see that? We can hardly see it. We do another one. You won't even see it. So if we could put that up somewhere far away enough to hide it, that would work. But it's just not working too well for me. So here we go. Here's the plan for the rest of it. We're not going to be able to finish this tunnel. This tunnel is a huge tunnel, and I've got so many ideas to add into it. Today, our goal is get this transitional bit from here to roughly where we start going into the... This is in inverted commas. You guys can't see it, but the city, if that makes sense. And maybe if I do this like that, I don't know. I don't know how we do inverted commas, but like the city part of this nether tunnel, where we start going over here, and eventually the houses, some more fortified buildings, and bam, the portal. That's what we want to do. So hopefully we can get that going, but from this angle, this is actually looking pretty darn good. Now, of course, if you guys have got any suggestions for what we do in these next places, I would love to hear them. I'd love to hear what you guys have got in your brains for this stuff. I think this idea currently is working quite well, but it's definitely got a lot of room for improvement. All right, so I was a little bit smarter and I put on my mob sounds. So we're going to be hearing some ghasts. Although, you know what? We're not actually going out, so I'm going to turn them back off again. Hostile creatures off there. They become so crazy, the ghasts. They make you crazy. But you can see we've got some different things here. And I've done a little bit of changes, specifically with the sky, and I think we've got that right. And then also, I've started moving in from this biome into a slightly different biome to get that feeling that we're transitioning over to a brand new place, which it is really inevitably going to be a different place. And we do have a lot of these trees in that city, which I'll actually show you because they're actually pretty cool. They're a part of me always goes to birch is horrible, never use birch. But I think I'm actually, I know it sounds kind of crazy, but it's growing on me a little bit. So look at this. You can see the sky now. It's bright. I've only gone up to here, so you're gonna have to use your imagination a little bit, but it's not very obvious. You can kind of see it through there. I think that's all right. If we have to, I'll work on maybe making it a bit more dim or something like that, but honestly, I'm pretty happy with the way it is right now. So going in from there, going out here, we've got these little trees merging into the canopy. And then for today, what we're going to do is we're going to go up to here, and then we're going to start on the next part at a later stage. But this will be where we make the gatehouse to the city. So we'll make a gatehouse over here, and we'll start putting in more stuff, for instance, more gravel around this place just to make it a bit... Oh, that wasn't intentional. We need that there anyway, and that there. We'll start putting in more gravel and make this place look a lot more stony, so it looks like it has actually been trodden on, it's been built like this, and it's not just gravel that's been walked out from here. So we'll start doing stuff like that and there, and maybe something like that. Who knows? Something like that, but it's going to definitely look like it's a proper city ground versus what it does right now. Maybe just do that because I can't stand to see it to see it almost done. There we go. They'll be fine. Close enough for me. All right, so that's what we got there. Now, what I want to do is I was thinking, because this is still part of the forest, but we want to start transitioning into the city, as I say, the idea that I had was perhaps to have some deliveries, something that you might see just outside of a city going into it. And I know this is our own city, so this is a bit of our imagination, but I was thinking perhaps some crates like this and stuff like that. There. And stuff like that just to make things a little bit more interesting. So that's way too many. We'll do that. There. Yeah, that'll work. Like that. Just something out there that's a bit more like something that should be in the city. And I want to also do a wagon, but I didn't bring this stuff. So that gives us an excuse to go over to the actual storage room. So here, let's get some of these mushrooms and start adding a little bit of color like that, which is a bonus. Actually, I wonder if there's any... We could pretty much place... Is there maybe a lower light tolerance, a higher light tolerance in the Nether for mushrooms? Because I can do that. I can do that. But I can't place it there or there. But I can place it one away. I always thought that was not the case. So maybe at one stage we might be having a lot of mushrooms around this place. So I just want to maybe put a few here, and if it gets a bit crazy, we'll start changing it. But if that works, that works. I'm happy with that. So the next thing that I wanted to do was take some of these, take some of those, and I want to go get a few more crops over here. Just a few crops in general, not more crops, just a few crops in general. And the reason is that these crops are actually quite colorful. And in fact, that's almost my issue with them a lot of the time, is that they can be a bit too colorful. Let's put it that way. Mojang, when the textures were created, they went a little bit crazy with them and went a little bit overboard. So we have to work in with them, and that's why I've changed my leaf colors. So let's do this, some beetroot. And the thing with the beetroot, by the way, it's going to create this nice little red color in here. We'll do that. We'll grow these like that. Look at that. That little bit of red. Yeah, just a touch. I think that's wonderful. I think that'll work very well. And in fact, this lime, what is this? Lime, what is it called? Lime terracotta. Man, I need to get used to that terracotta. The lime terracotta is also a great block just to texture the ground with. So maybe some of that there. I also wanted to put in some wheat because that's another color away from the green and something that could look quite interesting. We don't have any of that. We can't actually put that there. So let's check if I am lucky. Oh, oh, that was right over lava. Maybe with something like that, and then we put in the grass over here. Grass. There. And wheat there. Wonderful. I actually found myself looking for beetroot because I was under the impression, I don't know why I forgot about this. I guess it's because I never ever plant beetroot. But I was under the impression that beetroot seeds were going to be beetroot. And it took me a while to realize that I was just looking in the wrong place for what actually was not something that I needed in any case, which I was looking for actual beetroots. And I don't think I've grown them anytime recently. Oh no. Get that, and that's all right where that one is. We can deal with that fire for now. There we go. This is the problem with turning off my mob sounds. Did I get it? No. Okay. You see, this is a little bit of the issue doing stuff in the Nether. Or at least stuff that looks good. Else I'm just going to be using plain, boring, grey colors. Okay. Crisis averted. That's alright, I can get rid of this. And now you can see exactly why we have to start getting this place to be a bit better sheltered. And that's where a gatehouse will work. Because if we have a gatehouse here, any of these fireballs will go out this way. I can still hear some on the roof. Hopefully there's nothing on fire over there. But some of these little, what are they? Fire charges will not hit here. They'll hit the gatehouse first, and hopefully at that stage be a bit of a buffer. Or if for actually what would be smart is having a few more of these sorts of things, which are really a little bit of a fire break. So if the fire comes over here, why did that? Maybe a pigman just killed that. There's no pigman around here. Okay, that's kind of interesting. I may very well have killed that actually, but let's just do this here, and then we'll regrow these. Oh, you know what it is? It's the light level. That's what the problem is. That is exactly what the problem is. All right, so how do we do this? Let's be creative. Use the old school method. One of these down as low as I can get over there. Yep, and then this like. Actually, we'll be a bit more intelligent with this. We'll go out there, and here so that we can cover out the plain stone, and now we can go up like that, and it's completely hidden. Light source on the ground, and that was actually in a good spot there in any case. Yeah, that's looking way better. So just between that and maybe adding in a few more of these bushes, we've still got that natural feel to it. It's got a little bit of the transitional city vibe, but it's definitely working quite well. And I think it'll work well once we get this other wall in here. I think you guys that are in two minds about it will definitely flip on your point of view. Now, by the way, this diamond hoe, it's a very special diamond hoe. It's made many crops. I'll tell you that much. And I just want to go over to the city now quickly to show you guys what I was talking about. Let's go up here and out here. Okay, so this is what I'm talking about, just so we can start getting some idea about where we've gone from, where we're going, and what we're going to be doing when we get there. So here we go. Look at this. I'm breaking 3 and mending the King Diamond Hoe. You'll never find anything as beautiful as that. Or as useless in many ways. But it's actually been pretty useful to me. So here we've got these birch trees in here. And they actually, I think this is the best looking way of doing a birch tree. Because birch in real life are very tall, skinny trees. And I guess really having this as wide as an oak log doesn't do it too much justice, but I think that's the best that we can do. Just make them extra long and have them work like that. And this is where I decided I would get some of the inspiration from the city to use these over in where we've just used them. And I think you guys could probably tell what's going on there. Now, the next stage in the build is going to be getting a wall to separate the entry to the city in the Nether, of course, theoretically. And then we'll also be using a few of these colors and making it very colorful, kind of like what we've done along the way. And I think we've done a great job. Oh, I'm getting the back way. This is my habit. I go through this entrance. Everything looks ugly here. I'm actually going to be sprucing this place up, quite literally sprucing it up very soon. Nothing amazing, but just something to fix that up a little bit. But yeah, we'll be sprucing that up soon so we can walk through and not feel as gross walking through an ugly storage room. So here we go. So here, all of this that's undone right here is going to be pretty much looking like the inside of the city. And I think that will lead to a very cool overall look to the place. Now, have a look at this. How wonderful is that? Let's just stop over there like that. That's a wonderful place to look and see the Nether. And I think we're doing a pretty great job of just getting the Nether looking pretty. So what we're going to do today is we're going to call that an episode because I think we've had a fantastic amount of work done. Got the sky done, which is going to have to be adapted a little bit for this part behind us. We've got some coloring, we've got some more nature done. We've managed to survive another day in the Nether without burning the place down. And hopefully a few more before we get this project done. But thank you so much for watching and joining me here, guys. And I will see you in the next one.